want that to fall over. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, as we get ready for the fight, we have Kenny Florian joining us in the booth. Let's get into it, Shmuel.
Absolutely. So first thing I want to ask you, because we have Efrain Escudero here, and he is also a veteran of the Ultimate Fighter. How was your experience on the Ultimate Fighter, and how did that help you grow as a fighter?
Oh my gosh. Well, I really knew nothing about the sport, so it was kind of like being thrown into the fire and just seeing if you can survive. But yeah, it was wild, man. And Efrain, man, I haven't seen him in a long time. It's great to see him still competing and doing this. But yeah, it was just a whole different ball of wax, man. I really came into it from just a jiu-jitsu background, didn't really have a whole lot of striking experience, and being on that show was a learning experience, not only from like a training perspective, but also like, you know, being on camera all the time, doing interviews all the time, and just kind of preparing myself for, I didn't know it at the time, of what would be a career in MMA.
Well, you definitely wouldn't have guessed that if you watched Kenny on Tough. You had a lot of fantastic performances. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And what drew you to Karate Combat? How did you get involved with the community here?
So, you know, I'm here for the Bitcoin conference, and, you know, but I've been watching for a long time. And it's great to see some of the MMA guys come over. It's also been awesome to see them promoting grappling as well.
Absolutely.
And, I think it's special that they've been able to really create a really cool niche in combat sports. It's been really exciting. The way it's been promoted is really cool. I've known Awesome for a little while now, so he's been doing an amazing job with the brand. And you know, it's a lot of the fights have just been action-packed, so it's been a lot of fun to watch and see them grow. I think it's always good for the sport in general when you have other organizations, and of course it gives a lot of different options to the fighters out there.
Absolutely. And you spent a lot of time in your career competing in the cage. Here we have the pit. How do you feel that alters the dynamics of the fight?
It's completely different. You know, there's a saying, I guess, in combat in general, that the environment dictates the approach, and it's completely different. There's no way that you can really train for this unless you actually have this type of arena, and it makes your footwork have to be way more precise, because just backing up and running away is not an option, because you're just inevitably going to fall and kind of get pinned up against that slanted wall there, which is really cool. And so it forces you to, you know, make less mistakes and be more aggressive and move forward. And the fact that you can follow up with strikes on the ground as well is really cool, because there's big time repercussions for making those mistakes and getting tripped up there. And so it's really, really interesting, fascinating.
Yeah, gravity definitely hurts. That's for sure.
Definitely.
We like our strikes coming from forward, not coming from up to down.
For sure. Gravity can be your friend or your worst enemy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wolf, you got any questions?
Who are you most excited to see fight tonight?
Well, you know, I was really curious about the grappling match with Aljo. You know, Aljo's he just got caught. Aljo's a great grappler, and I kind of wanted to see him, and just seeing him in that grappling setting would be really cool. I've never really seen him compete live like that.
Totally different for him, right?
Totally different, you know, but at the same time, you know, keeps him sharp mentally to stay busy as a competitor. And of course, Sam Alvey's a guy that I've known for a while. I've called a bunch of his fights in the UFC before.
Right.
Just one of the
Always
coolest,
smiling.
nicest guys.
UFC
Always
legend
smiling.
in his own right.
He's just a great dude, and you know, to see him compete would be cool. And then have that rematch. You know, I know it was controversial last time out, and yeah, it'd be cool to see him.
Sounds like Chris Cyborg wants to get in the ring here. Do you think more stars are going to make the transition?
I think it's definitely possible. And again, you know, this is what, you know, the benefit of having other combat sports events does, is it gives more options to fighters. And, you know, Cyborg has been successful, MMA, boxing, kickboxing. She's done it all, and this would be another thing that I'm sure she would be very successful at.
Yeah, well, she definitely has heavy hands, and we've seen a lot of first-round knockouts here. I have a feeling if Cyborg joins in, that trend will continue.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, last question for myself. This is an amazing atmosphere.
Yeah.
What do you think brings it all together for Karate Combat?
Gosh, you know, I think it's a combination of a bunch of different ingredients, right? I think that the fact that it's more of an intimate type of setting,
for sure.
You know, where you have the fans literally on top of the action. I remember when I was fighting, coming off the Ultimate Fighter and fighting in some of the smaller UFC fight nights back in the day, that almost was more exciting than being in the big arenas, just because, you know, the fans are right on top of you. You feel like you're in a coliseum, you know? So it's really, really neat. And for the fighters, I think they could feel the energy.
They feel it when we're so close.
Yeah, I think it's way more dynamic in that manner. I think the rules really make it more exciting as well. So I think it's a combination of all those factors. Yeah.
So something that you mentioned stood out to me. You were here for the Bitcoin conference, and now you're here. That's what I was here for.
There
right?
we go.
They've done a great job of lining these up with conferences,
Yes.
especially crypto conferences.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that the big thing with crypto, and especially Bitcoin, is community, right?
Yes.
So do you think that community aspect is translated into karate combat?
I definitely think that helps, and I think it's a smart way to align yourself with a community that is quite tight.
Yeah, 100%. Their fight's been amazing. I was here, or not here, but last month at Karate Combat in Austin. Joe Rogan pulled up.
Oh yeah,
Shane
that's
Gillis
awesome.
pulled up.
Oh yeah.
And now we're seeing, the stars and yourself coming through on here. So super exciting. Any other questions for yourself, Shmuel?
No, that about sums it up. Just want to say again, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you
for
very
coming
much,
over
boys.
and talking to us. I
Appreciate
appreciate
your time.
Thank you guys
Yep,
so much. Best of luck.
We're looking forward to a
you
great
guys are
night.
killing it. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. We're doing what we can.
So much more to come.
Thanks a lot.
Perfect. All right. There you go, Kenny. Florian.
Wow.
Another.
I'm a little starstruck.